Hi, this is Nick Farrow with the 5th installment of the Basic Editing Series, Getting Your Writing Better. So, this is part 5. First, one small point to look at. Before the main points of the lesson, here is one important verb that some students forget. The verb to be. Here are 4 examples, and they are all no good. Why? Well, you need be. Her name is Susan. She is from Ghana. I am not interested in politics. They did not finish their homework because they were tired. Again, after that conjunction because, you must have the subject and the verb. They were tired. Okay, let's check the vocabulary you're going to need for the main lesson. First, 1 or 2 general expressions, and then some grammar words. If you don't know them all, pause to check them in a dictionary. Okay. Here's the first point. Please read this. It's the beginning of a book report. Can you find the mistakes? Maybe pause if you have to. In this report, the problem is that it begins in the past tense, but occasionally some of the words are in the present tense. In almost all cases, this is bad style in English, and sometimes it makes the reading very hard to understand. Let's highlight the mistakes. Okay, can you see those? They're all wrong. They're all in the present tense. It should be 100% past tense. Let's see it with all the verbs written correctly. Okay, here they are. If you check when you are writing your report, you can find these yourself. And translating into your language will not help. Now the second point, which is the last point in this video series. It's a little bit complicated. When you read these examples, you may not see a mistake. In fact, there is no grammar mistake. The sentences are using the passive voice. However, in English, we don't use the passive very much. Let's check each one. Here, again, the grammar is okay, but it has 6 words in this sentence, and we can make it shorter and easier to read. This one is about the boss, so why change to we? And it's a pretty long sentence. This one may not be bad, but next we will see that it can have a strange meaning. In these cases, it's easier to read if we use the standard subject-verb-object pattern. Everyone laughed at me, sounds smoother and is shorter than I was laughed at by everyone. And in the next example, the topic is the boss. He's also the subject of the first part of that sentence. There's no purpose to using the passive. The same is true for this case. It is clear now that the police found the boy. If the police didn't find him, then we could say someone found him by a tree. In fact, there's another problem with this example. Let's look at it again in its original form. Now, I think when you see this question, you can understand that the meaning is not clear. Of course, we can use our logic, but the more simple form, they found him, gives us no problem. So, using the passive is not bad, but many times it's not necessary and it's not smooth and natural. However, in formal academic writing and in report writing, the use of the passive form can be quite effective. Let's see some examples. In this paragraph, we don't know exactly who developed the car, but we can easily imagine that it was developed by scientists and technicians. Who gave the positive reviews? It must have been writers. So we don't really need to say who. The focus topics are the car and its technology. The second example points out that the passive is useful for academic reports. It's not about the people who use the passive voice. We don't know who uses it, and it's not important, but we know that it is being used here in this example. Notice the end of the paragraph changes to the normal subject-verb-object pattern. Why? Well, look at the passive form. Better use subject-verb-object. So the use of the passive form can be very complicated, and this will be the topic of a future video lesson. That's it. It's the end of the last lesson. But to really learn and remember, please make the extra effort to review everything. This will make a big impact on your ability to remember the lessons when you need them, and that is when you are writing. So, see you in the review. Maybe you'll subscribe to the channel, and please like this video.